Hello, everybody. I'm going to cover something the real separation between the two worlds. Just thinking about this and writing some notes down, I was crying because this is very real for me. Something I had to learn through life, not through books or concepts. Please stay, it's real important. For most of my life, I said it's okay when it wasn't okay inside. I let things slide. I stayed quiet to avoid hurting someone else's feelings or in any other way. But every time I did that, I abandoned myself. And one day I realized it's not about them, it's about me, my peace, my alignment, my truth. And once I started honoring that, something became unmistakably clear. We're no longer living in one world. There are multiple, two drastically different worlds. And people living in the old world honestly believe they can see into the new one. Because they've gathered information, they've learned the vocabulary, they've studied the teachings, they've watched the videos. But information is not frequency. Knowledge is not embodiment. Words are not awakening. The old world's full of noise. There's fear, money stress, arguing, distraction, reaction. People are overwhelmed. And for people in that world, it feels normal. But in the new world's a different reality entirely. It's not something you think, and it's not something that you believe, and it's not something you have faith in. It's something you live from, something you know. And here's the truth. People in the new world can see back into the old because we live there. But people in the old world cannot see into the new because they've never lived or experienced it yet. And one of the biggest markers of which world you're living in is the quality of your life. If you're struggling financially, constantly stressed, overwhelmed, pulled in multiple directions, you're living in the old world's frequency. Not because you're doing anything wrong or you are wrong, but because that world vibrates in resistance. Resistance creates more resistance. But as your frequency rises, life becomes lighter. It's like sound. The higher the frequency, the softer the sound. It moves easier. Life, struggle fades. Flow returns. Manifestation is not something you try for. It becomes natural. Things come to you without force. Opportunities line up. Your needs are met before you can even ask for them. It's like turning into a clear radio station. The static disappears. But here's something even more important. Even in the new world, things are going to still arise. Life is still going to happen. The thing is, you don't collapse. You don't spiral. You don't go into fear. Why? Because you don't think everything is going to be okay. You know it is. Knowing is peace. Knowing is stability. Knowing is unshakable. Sure, sometimes something will pull you back into the old world for a moment. A flash of stress, an old reaction. But you don't stay there. You return to stillness because that's where you live now, in stillness. And here's the part that almost nobody talks about. The new world requires follow through, real alignment, real grounding, real breath work, real inner practice, daily, not once in a while, not when you think about it. You can't just talk about this spirituality. You can't just post about it on Facebook or YouTube. You have to live in it. I know for me, even if I get slightly busy, if I step out of stillness for just a moment, it's hard to get back to that full bliss, that complete peace. And that's how sensitive the new world is. Stillness isn't an idea, it's a daily practice. It's how you hold your frequency. And here's where the separation becomes obvious. There are people online presenting themselves as high frequency teachers, but they're still charging you for everything. They're still grinding. They're still struggling financially, or they wouldn't be trying to sell their products. They're still living in the noise. You think if Christ was here, he would be a real big YouTube person? He don't care what people think. I don't care what people think. I just put this out so somebody can get some help. They can talk about awakening, but their life shows they're still in survival. Because when you truly rise in frequency, you know Source provides. You know abundance flows. And you know you're taken care of. You don't need to sell the truth. You don't need to package it. You don't need to monetize awakening. You share freely because you know you're supported. I've never charged anybody for anything. It's not because I'm better, but because I don't need to. I trust Source that gives me breath, so why should I worry about money or anything else? And here's the real separation. The old world talks about the new world. The new world lives it. The old world sells spiritual information. The new world gives from overflow. The old world reacts. The new world remains still. The old world hopes. The new world knows. The old world's noisy. The new world's quiet. The old world struggles. The new world flows. I mean, here's the real test, the only test for yourself. How peaceful are you inside? How steady are you? How grounded? How clear in your thoughts? That tells you everything. Because soon the frequency gap will be so wide that the old world won't be able to even touch us in the new world. That's where we're headed, guys. Love and light. I know it went long. Longest video ever done. Blessings.